begins with such and such is blah blah blah. But that's just way too much work. And I'm a lazy bugger. So let's get started. What color is Spock's blood? Green. King Zog ruled which country? Albania. Who was the first man in space? Yuri Gagarin. Which animal lays eggs? The duck-billed platypus. In the song Waltzing Matilda, what is a jumbuck? A sheep. What is Dick Grayson better known as? Robin. From Batman and Robin. What was given on the fourth day of Christmas? Calling birds. What is the name of Dennis the Menace's dog? Gnasher. Who starred as Rocky Balboa? Sylvester Stallone. In which war was the charge of the Light Brigade? The Crimean War. In the song, who killed Cock Robin? The Sparrow. What do deciduous trees do? They lose their leaves in the winter. What did Jack Horner pull from his pie? A plum. Which film had the song Springtime for Hitler? The Producers. What was Eric Weiss better known as? Harry Houdini. Which leader died in St. Helena? Napoleon Bonaparte. What does Ring a Ring a Roses refer to? The Black Death. Who would take silk as part of their job? A barrister. What, in business terms, is the IMF? The International Monetary Fund. What would you do with a Morris Piper? Eat it. It's a potato. In Casablanca, what is the name of the nightclub? Rex. What kind of animal is a lurcher? A dog. How did Alfred Nobel make his money? He invented dynamite. Who was the first man to run a sub-4 minute mile? Roger Bannister. Aer Lingus is the national airline of which country? The Republic of Ireland. Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of what? The number 13. Which country which city was the famous black hole? Calcutta. Ray Bolger played who in The Wizard of Oz? The Scarecrow. Which part of the human body contains the most gold? Toenails. Who wrote the opera Madame Butterfly? Puccini. Eric Arthur Blair was the real name of which author? George Orwell. Which non-alcoholic cordial is made from pomegranates? Grenadine. Taken literally, what should you see in a hippodrome? Horses. Who wrote The Man in the Iron Mask? Alexander Dumas. What was the first James Bond film? Dr. No. What 1991 film won Best Film, Actor, Actress and Director at the Oscars? Silence of the Lambs. What is the largest state in the USA? Alaska. Alan Stewart Königsberg is famous as who? Woody Allen. Whose autobiography was The Long Walk to Freedom? Nelson Mandela. Who ran through the streets naked, crying Eureka? Archimedes. Who composed the Brandenburg Concertos? Johann Sebastian Bach. In which city was Alexander Graham Bell born in 1847? Edinburgh. Who composed the ballets Sleeping Beauty and The Nutcracker? Tchaikovsky. Robin Williams dressed in drag for which 1993 film? Mrs. Doubtfire. Broccoli belongs to what family of plants? Cabbage. Who wrote Catch-22? Joseph Heller. Where in France do claret wines come from? Bordeaux. Consumption was the former name of which disease? Tuberculosis. What are the Sirocco, Mistral and Chinook winds? Who at USA Customs declared nothing but my genius? Oscar Wilde. Who sailed in the Golden Hind? Sir Francis Drake. What was the name of the plantation in Gone with the closest Galena produces which metal? Lead. Who was the son of Zeus and Maya, God's messenger? Hermes. Portugal has had 6 kings with what first name? John. Kimberlite contains what precious item? Diamonds. Who directed Dr. Strangelove? 2001. The Shining. Stanley Kubrick. What animal lives in a dray? A squirrel. In which country would you find the Negev desert? Israel. Jocasta was the wife of Laius and the mother of who? Oedipus. What is the capital of Sicily? Palermo. What was invented by Dr. Edward Land in 1947? Polaroid. Name the group. Sid Barrett, Roger Waters, Richard White, Nick Mason. Pink Floyd. Diwali, Dussehra, and Holi are religious days in which religion? Hindu. In what industry did John D. Rockefeller get rich? Oil. What animal's name translates as water horse? Hippopotamus. In Greek mythology, who killed the Gorgon? Perseus. In 1643, Evangelista Torricelli invented the first what? Barometer. What is the longest river in Italy? Po. What is the American equivalent of the Irish poaching? Moonshine. Which highwayman rode the horse Black Bess? Dick Turpin. Barry Allen was the alter ego of which DC comic superhero? The Flash. Brisbane is the state capital of which Southeast Australian state? Queensland. What is the capital of Morocco? Rabat. What shape were the sailors' plates in Nelson's navy? Square. Zambia and Zimbabwe used to be called what? Rhodesia. What is the staple food of 1/3 of the world's population? Irish political party's name translates as We Ourselves. Sinn Féin. What is the common name for the star Sirius? The dog star. Which Athenian philosopher wrote nothing but was immortalized by Plato? Socrates. Crazy Horse and Sitting Bull were born in which U.S. state? South Dakota. What links Catalonia, Andalusia, Cantabria, and Galicia? They are regions of Spain. Which European country is divided into areas called cantons? Switzerland. What weapon was invented by Ernest Swinton and was used in 1916? The tank. In 1901, who first transmitted radio signals across the Atlantic? Marconi. Who won 6 consecutive Wimbledon titles in the 1980s? Martina Navratilova. What Italian building material translates as baked earth? Terracotta. Which eponymous character was Thane of Cotter Claims? Macbeth. Annie Mae Bullock became famous under which name? Tina Turner. What was invented by James Dewar in 1872? The vacuum flask or thermos. Who was the Roman goddess of the hearth? Vesta. Who sold Louisiana to the USA in 1803? Napoleon. What's missing from ale that's included in beer? Hops. Who is the only American president elected unopposed? George Washington. What did Britain swap Havana for with Spain in 1763? Florida. What was Norman Bates's hobby in Psycho? Stuffing birds. Why did the state of Indiana ban Robin Hood in 1953? He was thought a communist because he robbed from the rich. How did George II die? He fell off the toilet. Why was Convict 2599 unusual in Penn State Prison in 1924? It was a dog doing life for killing a cat. What two ingredients reaches the Sargasso Sea. Who is the patron saint of thieves? Saint Nicholas. According to his business card, what job did Al Capone have? He sold second-hand furniture. Which country has the smallest birth rate? Vatican City. What was or is a waltzing Matilda? A swagman's knapsack. Which country was the first to introduce old age pensions? Germany. Collective nouns. Of what do you have a smock? Jellyfish. Who was Cleopatra's first husband? Ptolemy Diosnus, her brother. Who was John Dawkins better known as? The Artful Dodger. What is the name of Captain Ahab's ship? The Pequod. Roosevelt won the 1932 election. Who lost it? Herbert Hoover. What is the first day of Lent? Ash Wednesday. Who buried the treasure on Treasure Island? Captain Flint. In which country is Auschwitz? Poland. On which national flag is there an eagle and a snake? Mexico. What is the chemical symbol for tungsten? W. Who are the two most translated English writers? Shakespeare and Agatha Christie. Where was the Battle of Hastings fought? Senlac Hill. What color is the bow on an archery target? Gold. When is St. Swithin's Day? The 15th of July, or July 15th. Mrs. Darrell Waters, whose books were translated into 128 languages, was the pen name of who? Enid Blyton. In France, if you were served le meal, what would you eat? Honey. The Greek for circle of animals gives its name to what? Zodiac. Goa used to be a colony of which nation? Portugal. Agrippa poisoned her husband or uncle. Who was he? Claudius. Who was the mother of Castor and Pollux? Helen of Troy. What were the first false teeth Permatropic people are what? Long-sighted. Which leader lives in the Patola? The Dalai Lama. Which wood was the cross supposed to be made of? Mistletoe. In which city was the first public opera house opened? Venice. The Aphrodite of Melos has a more famous name. What? The Venus de Milo. What real person has been played most often in films? Napoleon Bonaparte. Whose music featured in The Clockwork Orange? Beethoven. With which organ does a snake hear? The tongue. The Count de Grizzly was the first to perform what trick in 1799? To saw a woman in half. Who wrote Les Miserables? Victor Hugo. The Colossus of Rhodes was a statue of who? Apollo. Who rode a horse called Bucephalus? Alexander the Great. What did William Addis invent in prison? The toothbrush. Who invented popcorn? American Indians. Which game is played on an oval with 18 players per team? Australian football. Which actor is common to the Magnificent Seven and the Dirty Dozen? Charles Bronson. What flower is the symbol of secrecy? The rose. Which flying pioneer was nicknamed the Lone Eagle? Charles Lindbergh. Horse statue, mounted man on 2 legs. How did the man die? He was killed in battle. Who wrote Dr. Zhivago? Boris Pasternak. What is the white trail behind a jet plane made from? Ice crystals. If you were doing vaccimulsions, what would you be doing? Milking a cow. Who was the Greek goddess of love? Aphrodite. Which herb did the Romans human body, where is your occiput? The back of head. Which food did Victorians deride as little bags of mystery? Sausages. Which actor was dubbed the Muscles from Brussels? Jean-Claude Van Damme. Which film star was the first to appear on a postage stamp? Grace Kelly. What would you expect to find in a binnacle? A ship's compass. Which Mediterranean country's orchestra is bigger than its army? Monaco. Baked beans were originally served in what sauce? Treacle or molasses? Where can you buy a copy of Penguin News? The Falkland Islands. Which African country was founded by Americans? Liberia. What part of a frog do you rub to hypnotize it? Its belly. What is involved in 20% of car accidents in Sweden? A moose. Churches in Malta have two what? Clocks. Right and wrong to confuse the devil. Nobody's Perfect is the last line in which classic comedy film? Some Like It Hot. In what month did the Russian October Revolution take place? November. In 1760, what means of personal transport was invented? Roller skates. What three counties were Eliza Doolittle taught to pronounce? Hertford, Hereford, Hampshire. In Hitchcock's film The Trouble with Harry, what was the trouble? He was dead. What did George Washington soak his wooden teeth in for taste? Port. What was the first country to guarantee freedom of worship? Transylvania. Why do Tibetans grow long nails on little fingers? To pick noses efficiently. Which European country eats the most breakfast cereal? Britain. Who sang the title song in the film Grease? Frankie Valli. What was made illegal in England in 1439? Kissing. Excluding religious works, what is the world's top-selling book? sphere carved on grave. Archimedes, who created the TV series The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Ian Fleming. Shirley Bassey sang 3 Bond themes. Which 3 films? Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever, and Moonraker. Who was the first person elected to U.S. Swimming's Hall of Fame? Johnny Weissmuller. The guillotine was invented for chopping off what? Hands. What people founded cheese making in England? The Romans. What is the first name of Mr. Toad in Toad of Toad Hall? Thaddeus. Red flags flown by French ships. Jolly Rouge is the origin of what name? The Jolly Roger. Antimascaras were fitted to chairs. What is antimascara? Hair oil. Who was the first Grand Prix driver to use a safety belt in 1967? Jackie Stewart. Maurice Micklewhite became famous as who? Michael Caine. Boob Day in Spain is what day in Britain? April Fool's Day. Who sailed in a ship called Queen Anne's Revenge? Blackbeard. Who landed on Timor Island after being cast adrift? Captain Bligh. In what language did St. Paul write his epistles? Greek. Fidelity, bravery, integrity is which organization's motto? The FBI. What is the world's most widely used vegetable? The onion. Who would you expect to find in Castle Gondolfo? The Pope. The detours changed to the high numbers, then to what name? The Who. What animal was believed to be a cross between a camel and a leopard? The giraffe. What were Twinkle Toes and Lucky Jim the first to do? They were stuffed cats that flew across the Atlantic. What male human feature was taxed in Elizabethan times? Beards. From which country does spinach originate? Iran. British policemen have drawn first said, "If in doubt, tell the truth." Mark Twain. In Greek mythology, who rode the dead across the river Styx? Charon. Which acid was first prepared from distilled red ants? Formic acid. Which Dickens novel is considered an autobiography? David Copperfield. Dendrologists worship what? Trees. Who was Agrippa's son? Nero. Milton lost which sense? Sight. The Salk vaccine is used against what disease? Polio. An alloy of iron, chromium, and nickel makes what? Stainless steel. In what film did Elvis play a Red Indian? Stay Away, Joe. Which country first used the fountain pen? Egypt. What is a more popular name for the Londonderry heir? Danny Boy. Freyr was the Norse god of what? Fertility. The Koh-i-Noor is a famous diamond. What does the name mean? Mountain of Light. What was Britain's first colony, annexed in 1583? Newfoundland. What was Black Beauty's original name? Turkey. Who was the original Peeping Tom looking at? Lady Godiva. What element is present in all organic compounds? Carbon. What was Professor Moriarty's first name? James. Who rode a horse called Marengo? Napoleon at Waterloo. Who was the goddess of the rainbow? Iris. Who was the first actor to appear on cover of Time magazine? Charlie Chaplin. Polyphemus was the leader of which group of mythical giants? Cyclops. What does a pluviometer measure? Rainfall. Which game was illegal in Elizabethan England? Bowls. What nationality was Oddjob? Korean. What language has the most words Pipik means belly button in what language? Yiddish. What is the main ingredient in borscht? Beetroot. What was the name of William Tell's son who had an apple shot off his head? Walter. The fagus is the Latin name of what type of tree? Beech. The French say bis. What word do the English use? Encore. What is biltong? Dried meat. In which country did the turnip originate? Greece. Tchaikovsky died of which disease? Cholera. Sam Barcliffe owned which film star? Lassie. Captain Hansen Gregory Crockett created what void in 1847? The hole in donuts. Who wrote A Town Like Alice? Neville Shute. Which fruit contains the most protein? The avocado. Ignatius Loyola founded which organization? The Jesuits. Which 16th century Italian wrote The Prince? Machiavelli. A meander bend in a river is named from the river Meander. Where is it? Turkey. Alfred Jingle appears in which Dickens novel? The Pickwick Papers. Chaplin ate a put in the Gold Rush. What was it made of? Licorice. What is the 10th letter of the Greek alphabet? Kappa. An isoneph on a map joins places of equal what? Average cloud cover. Whose last words were Clito, I owe a cock to Asclepius? Socrates. What is France's longest river? The Loire. In which month is the Munich Beer Festival held? October. Who ordered John the Baptist's execution? King Herod. What medication was discovered in 1928 but introduced in 1940? Penicillin. What American state is the Badger State? Wisconsin. In China, what color does the bride traditionally wear? Red. In which country were antibiotics first used? Egypt. They used moldy bread. What was the name of Rose's monkey? Rose's monkey in Friends. Marcel. An unkindness is a group of what birds? Ravens. What colour habit do Franciscan monks wear? Grey. Hugh Lofting created which famous character? Dr. Dolittle. What ingredient must French ice cream contain by law? Eggs. What is the commonest symbol on flags of the world? A star. Which country is alphabetically last? Zimbabwe. What color is the gemstone peridot? Green. Where did Spam get its name? Spiced ham.